Greetings, lords and ladies, Kaiser here, and welcome to the first episode of our Epirus campaign in Crusader Kings 2. Now, I know that we already went through this once, but in case anyone is here without watching the previous episode, the pilot episode, if you're interested in how this game works, in all the mechanics and everything, I actually went pretty in-depth in the previous episode, or rather, like I said, the pilot episode, not the private episode. But for those that are new to the series, let's head right into it. In Babylon, 18 years ago, the Argead king Alexander died suddenly at the age of 32. In the 5 years preceding his death, his continuing military successes had reshaped the world as known to the Greeks, his empire stretching uninterrupted from Egypt to the Indus. The shock of Alexander's early death and his lack of a chosen successor sent shockwaves through the hierarchy of satraps and generals who attended him, splintering his empire into elements ruled by these potentates, styled as the Diadochi. For many years, they and their successors have been locked in a bitter struggle over the future of the empire, drawing all nations within their sphere of influence into the conflict. The wars of the Diadochi will surely continue. Perhaps it is up to Epirus to decide how they will end. The die is cast. Alea Yacta est. There we go. Locked the screen. Excellent. I absolutely love this game. I'll just start off by saying that. I really don't get the hate. I understand that the game has its flaws. It does. But I'm more than sure that things will be balanced. Things will be nerfed, perhaps, buffed a little bit, etc., etc. I have absolutely no doubt that Johan and his team will do a good job with it. Now then, straight into the game. You might be thinking that we should immediately be taking the current national ideas in order to get the additional monarch... Sorry, I keep calling them monarch points. Military power, civic power, oratory power. Let's just say powers, alright? Let's say points in power. However, we will not be doing that just yet. First thing we are going to do is take an invention. The first one we will be taking is the Fabricate claim cost. Now, as explained in the last video, Fabricate claim has a base cost of 200 oratory points. However, due to our currently sorry for that noise. Bellicose stands, there we go. We already have a Fabricate claim cost by minus 10%. So, by taking the invention aggressive protection, we gain an additional 10%. This is, by the way, on the base value, so on the value of 200. So, by taking this, we now only have a Fabricate claim cost of 160. So that is very, very lovely indeed. One thing that I do want to do is, if we check right now, trade routes, most are actually still closed. I know for a fact that we will be able to get iron, at least from Itolia, I believe. And yes, I do want to get us some iron so that we can get some heavy infantry. Though for the very first war, we probably won't be going heavy infantry focus just yet. However, 12 archer divisions is definitely not something we want. We do want to have a little bit more of a mixture there. Also Papyrus. God damn it, I keep calling it Papyrus. Papyrus. That is definitely something we want to have eventually, but probably not the first thing we are going to have. Military power, oratory, religious power. We can go for an omen. And I'm just thinking that we might go for the omen right before declaring a war. Now, we are going to go to a war with Acarnia right now. First, as to the north, we have our ally Tolantia. Hopefully this will be a good idea. And hopefully Acarnania, there we go, will not be making too many alliances. Now, just going to put this out there, if I make random cuts, as always guys, something's either happening or IRL. I do feel my throat has been a little bit sore, and doing that whole pilot episode earlier, talking almost non-stop for a whole hour and 10 minutes, I believe, without a break, yeah, took its toll. So, if I make random cuts, please do not hold it against me. Not to mention, there are certain periods at times when we simply either do not have enough points to do anything, we do not have enough money to do anything, or simply somebody is blocking us from doing anything whatsoever. When times like that happen, I will probably make a cut until something of interest happens again. How do we have scorned families? How are we scorned? I mean, sure, it's not on 2%, but should go away. Yeah, okay, we don't have any scorned families. Now, there we go. I just wanted to let us forward by 1 day because we instantly get, as you can see, many, many more routes and everything open. Now then, Pyrrhus is apparently also available from Ionia. Very positive. Good for us. Yes, it is good for you to give me Pyrrhus. Now, the reason I want Pyrrhus is, of course, to fix our bad research ratio a little bit. Another thing I do want to do is head to economy and immediately do this. For the cost of 15% commerce income, we will gain an additional import route. There we go. Now, the difference, as you can see, is literally 0.04 right now. But by doing that and being able to import something else, we will be gaining even more money. So definitely worth it at the very beginning. So, like I said, we will be taking first Pyrrhus. Bada bim. Second thing, we will be taking iron from, let's say, should we go from Macedon? Should we go from Carthage or Rome? Who has the highest opinion? Macedon is probably not going to have a very high opinion of us for long, but if we trade with them, they might have it for a little bit longer. Alright, so we now have heavy infantry units available, but we won't be doing heavy infantry units just yet because they are very, very, very expensive. Now, if we check, there we go. 0.91 because of those 2 trade routes. We did not try and get any surpluses just yet because, quite honestly, iron and papyrus is something that I always prefer getting immediately at the beginning. One thing that I did not check, it was precious materials, if we could get that, but, I mean, we could get it actually from Macedon. Interesting. Though, if anything, I would be interested in getting the precious materials due to us gaining the surplus. However, we are not interested in upgrading our pops just yet. What we will do is recruit some more units to this army. Now, as you can see, 0.54 and 10 cost for a single heavy infantry cohort. So we'll go for hypastists for now. And we will take, let's say, on 6 of them? 6 of them will be good. Now, due to the fact that we've recruited directly from the army, and not from, like, the macro builder or directly in the actual province, the cohorts, as soon as they are up, they are immediately going to combine themselves onto our army. One thing I will do is decrease fleet maintenance. Army maintenance, I'm gonna leave it on normal for now because we are most likely immediately going to go to war because we are going to immediately fabricate a claim on the province of Epirus. There we go. The reason we were able to pick 2 things, so 2 provinces, is because, as you can see, only this belongs under Epirus. This belongs under Aetolia. And he basically has lands in both of those. But do not fret, despite us only claiming Epirus, we can also take Aetolia. That is something I like in this game, considering the cost of manpower and everything. At least if I go to war with someone that actually invites others into the war with them, so that there are other belligerents in the war, I can actually piece those belligerents out first and take their lands as well. So that is very, very, very nice. Alright, so we still have 40 oratory power that we can do things with. However, we'll probably just wait for 2 months and pick the first idea, which will definitely be the morale of armies, which will help us greatly in our war versus Akarnania. Let's immediately go to speed 5. What is this? Deidamia and Demetrius. The political situation has evolved quickly since the start of the Diadochi conflict. Every state in the Hellenic world is deciding who to support and hoping that they will have backed the right horse. For our own part, it has been suggested that King Pyrrhus' sister Deidamia, previously betrothed to Alexander the Great's late son, would make a good match with Demetrius, son of Antigonus and heir to the Phrygian kingdom. The Antagonists could be just the friends we need. We'll decide whether to approve our proposal or Phrygia loses opinion of us. I mean, we'll just go with that one. Absolutely fine. Deidamia and Demetrius, after long months of deliberation, and the Phrygians have formally agreed to our marriage proposal. Upon her arrival in Phrygia, Deidamia's chariot was escorted in an opulent procession through Antigonia to the royal palace, where she bit the ceremonial apple presented by Demetrius. They were then married in a lavish ceremony attended by hundreds of guests and showered with gifts, followed by a royal banquet with feasting and reveling long into the night. We gain opinion of Phrygia, and Phrygia gains opinion of us. At least I think it's Phrygia, it's not Phrygia or something like that. Phrygia, I think. Marry Demetrius, yes. And she moves to Moves to Phrygia, there we go. He's their epistrategos. Yeah, makes sense. Attend, Marshal. Oh, to be young. Alrighty. I'm just gonna keep checking these guys to make sure whether they are making any alliances or not. So far, so good. No alliances. Alrighty. So, if we declare war on them right now, like immediately, as you can see, they just... And I've noticed that this is something that all of the AIs do. As you can see, this guy had 5,000, this guy had 5,000, this guy had, I believe, like 7,000 even. They usually don't like having a one unit type army either, which is why they actually dismissed their archers, their archer cohorts, and are probably going to start training up cohorts, different cohorts as well, like most likely Hepastists. It is November 1st. We can now declare war. We can call in allies to take Epirus. Boom. Now, despite the fact that we declared a war against them right now, that they are not allied to anybody yet, despite that, they still have 1 year of time that anybody that allies with them within the next year, they can still call them to arms. But after those 12 months, they cannot invite anybody else into their war, no matter who they ally with, no matter who guarantees them, nothing. So let's just hope that they stay alone for the next 12 years. We will be giving command of this army to, let's see, local slave charisma, enslavement efficiency. That's something that it would be very lovely. But then again, when you think about it, we're gonna want to keep these lands, so probably enslaving the populace isn't that much of a good idea. A 7 marshal, definitely. Good. Now let's see. The morale is currently 249. What is your morale at, sir? 271. Actually, is higher than ours. Should we try boasting the maintenance a little bit more? We can lower it once the battle is actually over. We're gonna wait for the new units to arrive as well. Should have immediately just sent them into the battle there. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, right? These guys are now gonna go into that, and yeah, in this game, the forts, as you can see, there's a fort right here. These areas are basically the areas of influence of the forts. Now, as you can see, I cannot move into Thyrion. Yeah. I can't move here because this is under the area of influence of this fort. And if I want to move outside, or rather into this area, I first have to siege down the actual fort, take it over, and then we'll have free reign over this area as well. kind of messed up there. We have been insulted by our allies. Why would you do that? Like, seriously, why would you do that? We're allies and they're insulting us. Alright, well, we're also going to be taking the morale of armies like we said, or do we go for reinforce? No, morale of armies. Alright, that is the first one. Omen, do we go for the discipline omen? Or do we go for the national attacks in order to be able to actually... Right, fleet maintenance is still low. Now that we've increased the amount of units, we're actually taking quite the penalty. We could go national attacks, or we could go discipline for the duration of this war at least. But I think we're gonna go for the national attacks. Let me see. Tax is 4 if we gain about 25, so we'll gain about an additional gold piece or so. Which is not bad. Not bad at all. Though this will be for the next 5 years, but at least I think it's 5 years. Let me just confirm that. Until December, yep, 18th, 1455. There we go. Bad research ratio, still a bad research ratio, yes indeed. I would like to get this research ratio to about, I don't know, about 150% or so. So that we're still slightly ahead of everybody else. There we go. We'll see how much of an army these guys actually take. You know what? I'm gonna command... I'm not sure why these guys aren't moving towards the army, but what I am going to do is detach a siege and move the rest of the army out. They'll stay there as backup in case they're needed, but I would like to not take any unnecessary losses due to attrition. He already has 7,000 units, so he's definitely growing an army. Does he have any allies? I mean, he's in a defensive league, but did anybody join? No! Alright, so he didn't ally himself to anyone. He entered a defensive league with people. Let me see, what about you? You're still alone. If I declare war on you immediately... Like, my first goal is to unite Epirus. Though... Kefalonia is under Aetolia, so that's gonna take a little while. This is Akarnania as well, yeah. Alright, so I won't be able to immediately unite. What about who is Aetolia allied with? Elis and Messania, alright. Phrygia is guaranteeing them. There we go, that is the first blockade. So we cannot attack Aetolia without Phrygia saying, F you, I'm gonna attack you too. And let's see, there we go. Macedon subjects, we already checked those. Guaranteed? Okay, is he guaranteeing anyone? That's what I want to see. He's not guaranteeing anyone just yet. So if I attack Elis, I would go to war with essentially everybody. Everybody in this area, at least. We'll have to study that a little bit better to pick who to attack next. But for now, let's just do this siege properly. This army will be defeated eventually, hopefully soon. 10,000, I mean, he could move in and try and attack us, but he's probably smart enough to realize that we do have... Oh god, why is there no... Wait a minute. Is there anyone that has a... Yeah, but he's a marshal too, even though he has a siege ability of +10. For each 5 marshal of the general... Let me just explain how sieges work. So, sieges. As you can see, this province has, or sorry, city has a fort level of 1. For each level of a fort, and you can actually build forts right over here. For each level of a fort, 5,000 units are required in order to successfully besiege it. If less than 5,000 units per level are in the province, nothing will happen. It literally, like, this tab literally just says none. Like, nothing happens. Every each and single month, there is a random chance, like a die is rolled between 1 to 14. That roll is then added together with the siege modifiers. Now, here's how these modifiers work. Let me just read that on to the end. On a natural roll of 1, the attackers will suffer a disease outbreak that reduces their numbers by 5% of their maximum strength. Now, here you can actually see what the chances are of each thing happening. The results of the roll are as follows. Supply shortage. are 50%. If we roll a dice anywhere between 5 to 11 plus the modifiers, which currently are +4. Now the reason they're +4 is 1. -1 is the fortification. Each level of fortification gives them a gives us a -1 penalty. Siege engineering, that is something we can actually raise through inventions. Breaches, that's, I believe, random. Let me see. Water shortages, defenders, desert, breaches. Actually, I am unsure how the breaches thing works, I'll be completely honest. I know that we can order an assault, of course, but we're not going to do that. Assume control of sea, we are already in control of the siege, yeah. Blockade, if the port is blockaded, but this province, of course, has no port because... Or rather, not province. Keep mixing it up. Cities. Of course, the city has no port to blockade, so that's not gonna work. Commander impact, there it is. For every 5 marshal, there is a +5. So this is 0 right now. But with us putting a general in command with a marshal of 5, whoop, that is now a +1. So that is a +1 modifier. And as you can see right there, it says +5 altogether. And this is siege accumulation. Each and single month, as this buffer, I suppose, gets to the end, this increases. And I believe it only increases up to a certain amount. I'm not sure. There's almost never a 100% chance that you are going to win the siege the next month. The highest I've seen it go up to is 42%. I'm sure it can go higher with all of the inventions. I haven't played. Like I said, I've played about 30 hours of the game. Most of which were basically just me trying out starts as Epirus to figure out what the best starts would be, etc, etc, etc. So, yeah, not too much in the way of knowledge in that case. So, 0%. What happens? Supply shortage. There we go. So, supply shortage. So we got the lowest possible roll. We got a roll of 5. Plus the 5 modifiers back then was 10. Supply shortage 7 to 11 was definitely that. What is this? This guy? So he's actually starting to go in for an attack. Now we could, of course, just immediately command our units to go and attack, and he is going to pull back, but I'm going to stop that, and I'm going to let them come in until they're locked, and now command my army to go in. Wait a minute. They actually did call upon somebody. Aetolia is actually helping them out in this war. Alright, so that means that I can just attack Aetolia as well. Lovely. This battle, on the other hand, is probably not going to be lovely. Let me see, is there anything that we can... Army morale recovery, I suppose. Nah, we're gonna go for herbalism. While that one would help us in this battle, we're gonna have to go with herbalism. There. Our commander only has a 5, theirs has a 9. Yeah, but this commander has a 7, so hopefully he takes over the battle. There we go. Wait. We were defeated, so the army didn't even last that long. But now our reinforcements came in, beat them up. Lovely. Alright, and we're once again... on minus 33%, 35%. Are you kidding me? So that just happened. Alright. Detached siege. We're gonna repeat this. Aetolia is definitely, alright, a target now as well. We're not going to be recruiting any more units. Though I was thinking about it. I was legit thinking about it. Let me see, what is your power? You have 10 cohorts. I see 9 over there, sir. How far are you going to... Good God, that's a long way to run away to. Can I not... Nope, we cannot move into Aetolia before we take over this place. What is this? There we go! This is what I was talking about in the last episode. So, this is always the Molossian ultimatum. This always happens in 51 in Epirus. So, in Epirus, power hinges on the support of the Molossians, the strongest Epirot tribe. Pyrrhus' father, King Aeacides, supported the children of Alexander the Great against Cassander. but was deposed by the Molossians, who resented the fighting. They replaced Aeacides with his cousin Neoptolemus, and the infant Pyrrhus was taken to the court of the neighboring Taulantian king Glaucus for his safety. Aeacides later briefly reclaimed the throne, but fell in battle against Macedon in 1441. His brother Alcetas II then took power, but was eventually put to death by the Molossians for his failures and excesses, after which Glaucus took the opportunity to have Pyrrhus crowned in 1447. Yet the same guy is insulting me! The Molossians will support Neoptolemus II rather than Pyrrhus, a king foisted on them by a foreign power. Now we can either install Neoptolemus to keep the peace, becomes the new ruler, Talantia loses 100 opinion of us, and nothing really else happens. However, look at that. 8 martial, 9 civic, 6 oratory, or rather, yeah, 6 oratory, 4 zeal versus that. This is definitely better. So Pyrrhus' claim is true. Pyrrhus loses 10 popularity. We can gain popularity, that's fine. We can hold some games later. Epirus loses 30 legitimacy. And it's gonna hurt a little bit. The 1 stability, oh, it's 1 stability, sorry, not 2 stability hit, but 1. But this is the big cherry on top. Epirus gains Molossians angered until October the 3rd, 461. So for 10 years, we have a national unrest of +4 and a monthly legitimacy decrease of minus 0.30. Because taking 30 legitimacy is not enough. And Macedon loses 50 opinion of Epirus. I've never gone for this because simply if we choose Neoptolemus, our growth is going to be much slower. So we are going to take Pyrrhus. I realize that the stability did drop. Yes. Thank you for that. Let's see, the army's not moving. That's absolutely fine. Oh, it's moving now. Where is it moving to? Let's get that army back here. He's attacking this guy. Are you sure about that, sir? You are outnumbering us, but we are getting our friends to help us out. Why is this 7,000 stack still there and not over here helping us? That's what I'm wondering. And this guy will also ride, but oh, he's not gonna be there very soon, is he? Let's see how this goes. It shows that we should be winning this battle. We'll see. Alright, so we have apparently a higher morale, which is very nice. Right, we didn't pick any different tactics. That is something I forgot to do. Though, what is this? The current discipline is 100. Strategos. Their strategos is causing, or is he a strategos? Is that what it's saying? Show me this guy. Nope. Then why? What is with the 4% bonus for him and none for me? Do we not have? I mean, we have an Epistrategos, but that's not the same, I guess. Morale of armies. Do we have anyone higher? We do not. All right. I didn't really go and check through all of these. If we have any higher ones that we could do, nothing that we can really do additionally. All right. Let's see what happens. All right. So we're actually winning that battle, which is very, very nice. Unmarried ruler. All right. So Pyrrhus is ready to get married. From what I know, the selection of spouses, it doesn't really matter what kind of points they have. They're probably going to try and implement a similar system to Crusader Kings 2. At least I'm hoping so, that at least some of these points actually go somewhere. Either to increase yours like they do in CK2, but currently they don't really do anything, I believe. Let's see. Deceitful. Monthly corruption, zeal, charisma, pious, miserly. Effective governor, effective ruler, but she's not a governor, she's not going to be a ruler either. What about you? Uncaring, submissive. Would Pyrrhus like a submissive wife? I wonder. Secure. I say we go with the 16-year-old. There. We are now married. Hopefully to have many sons in the future. Let's see, did our allies actually arrive in this battle? I think they did. One cohort has already fled. Alright, we're about to gain some more reinforcements into there. We're already victorious, so that's absolutely wonderful. Combine these armies. Plop. Under him. And we will say that Pyrrhus, with the siege ability plus... Ooh, 9 martial plus the siege ability. Yes, sir. You're going to be our leader of this siege. There has been a breach. I'm just waiting for the Acarnanian army to suddenly arrive back and start messing with us again. Of course, as soon as we take this, I'm gonna send this army. What is this? Invite to defensive league. Nope, I do not want to be in any sort of defensive leagues, really. As soon as we're done here, we are going to be sending our army straight into Thermos. There we go! Pyrrhus wins! Pyrrhus Aeacidae has led his men to glorious victory during the siege of Stratos. The enemy flee in disgrace, and all that is left is to decide on how to treat the residents of within. Needless to say, the spoils of war are likely to cause those back in Nicopolis to admire Pyrrhus greatly, but leaving such wealth in the hands of one man could cause problems in the future. We can say, let the looting be gentle, we gain popularity, and Pyrrhus gains a personal stash of 12 gold. Gain popularity, and an Aetolian slave is killed, or 4 Aetolian citizens are killed. Now, considering the fact that we want to take over this place, we don't really want death of the citizens, as they will be our citizens soon. So we'll just say, let the looting be gentle. And here's what happened. There we go, my Basilius, we won the 300 days of siege. Epirus now controls the province. The garrison were allowed to march out. Pyrrhus Aeacidae earned 0.70 popularity, excellent, and there were 1 pops captured that has been distributed as slaves like this. 1 pop from here, so from Stratos, has been transported to Nicopolis as a slave. We used to have 4. As you can see, Hellenic Aetolian. We have now a new slave. A new slave, yes. Straight into Thermos. And send this army. I believe we only need a single unit to go and take over those lands. And we'll send these guys into Neopactos. Just in case we get any visitors over here. AKA if those 2 armies of the Acarnanian and Aetolian origin come back. No, come on. Are they gonna be taking this over? Hopefully not. Nope. Okay, we took it over. Good, 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 good. So they're actually doing this for our good, when you think about it. Due to us also controlling this fort now, as you can see, the influence also goes into Neopactos, which means that, as you can see right here, if we didn't send an army down, which we are currently doing simply for the purpose of, you know, defense versus the possible incoming armies, this province would automatically fall into our control, which is very lovely. And we're sending this army just to take Leucas and that place right there. I mean, Aetolia is still going to exist simply because they still have Zakynthos, but eh. We're gonna detach a siege and actually send... No. We're actually gonna do this. Possibly just create a new unit and send one of these downstairs. Downstairs, he says. Like so. You're gonna be there on the 18th of July. Yeah, we'll be first there, so... all is well. There's an army over there, so possibly we want some... Oh god, what is that? See, I did not see that army incoming. That is 27,000 units, sir. So 11,000 are coming in. Do I just place Neoptolemus as commander here? 315, 39... Oh god, who's gonna win that, I wonder? probably them. I'm just thinking what to do with this army. I kind of want to send it down here just for additional support. Do we break off the siege or do we attack? I mean, do we break off the siege and help this army out? We're about to be helped. Hopefully he at least moves his army in. Oof. They chose bottleneck, which means they automatically have even additional strength versus us. Where did you get such an army, I wonder? Boeotia. Wait, how did Boeotia also join the war? What? When? It's been 2 years. No, we can't. And I just restarted the siege. Very lovely. Alright, well, at any rate, guys, I will see you guys next time for the next episode. Hopefully this war goes well. We'll see how it goes. At any rate, though, I'll see you guys next time. And until then, as always, if you like what I do and if you like this series, please let me know in the comment section down below, and also leave a like. It's always important to get the first episode going as well as possible for the future of the entire series. I will see you next time, and until then, as always, ad gloriam.